Have you ever felt like you were being watched? What if I told you there are shadows out there that seem to defy the laws of nature? Shadows that move, linger, and disappear without a trace. Millions of people have seen them, but no one can explain them. Welcome to the top 10 unexplainable shadows seen by millions. Stay with me, because each story is more shocking than the last, and what you'll see at the end will leave you speechless. Number 10. The Shadow on the Moon. It was the summer of 1969. The world was united, watching the Apollo 11 astronauts make history on the moon. But amidst the celebration, millions noticed something eerie, a massive shadow that seemed to glide across the lunar surface during the live broadcast. Was it a satellite? An alien spacecraft? NASA claimed it was nothing more than a trick of light, but skeptics weren't convinced. Years later, during a 1994 lunar mapping mission, a similar shadow reappeared, this time caught on satellite images. Experts scrambled for explanations, suggesting everything from meteors to glitches, but no theory could explain the scale and precision of the shadow. Cliffhanger. If it's just an illusion, why has it been seen twice, decades apart? What is hovering over the moon, unseen by our telescopes? Number 9. The Playground Spectre. A seemingly innocent playground in Indiana turned into the stuff of nightmares in 2016. Surveillance footage showed a swing set in motion, but the swings were moving on their own, almost as if someone invisible was pushing them. The eeriest part. A faint shadow appeared near the swings, mimicking the movements of a child. Residents initially laughed it off as a prank or a mechanical issue, but then multiple eyewitnesses began reporting the same shadow, even during the daytime. Families who lived near the playground said they often heard faint laughter at night, though the park was empty. Surprise twist. Investigators later discovered that the playground was built on the site of a tragic school fire in the early 1900s. Could the shadow be one of the children who never left? Number 8. The Shadow Beneath the Waves. Deep in the Yucatan Peninsula, divers exploring a submerged cave system stumbled upon something they couldn't explain. Their underwater cameras captured a massive shadow moving across the ocean floor, completely independent of the current. It was humanoid but impossibly large, too big to be any known sea creature. When the divers surfaced, they felt an overwhelming sense of dread, describing it as though something was watching from the depths. Scientists theorized it might have been a trick of light or a unique marine phenomenon, but the divers swore it was alive. Cliffhanger. Months later, a second dive team attempted to revisit the site, but one member disappeared during the expedition. The shadow was captured again in their final footage, and this time it appeared closer than ever. Number 7. The Burning Shadow. In 2004, a small Tennessee town witnessed an inexplicable phenomenon. During a devastating house fire, bystanders and firefighters alike reported seeing a dark, human-like shadow moving inside the flames. Strangely, the figure appeared unaffected by the inferno, walking calmly as the fire consumed the house around it. Investigators found no physical evidence of anyone inside, yet multiple witnesses swore they saw the shadow. Paranormal researchers later claimed the area was known for unexplained activity, with locals recounting stories of strange lights and whispers long before the fire. Surprise twist. Just a month later, during another fire 50 miles away, the same burning shadow was reported, leading many to believe it wasn't a coincidence. Could this shadow be tied to the fires, or something else entirely? Number 6. The Highway Phantom driving down Nevada's infamous Highway 375, also known as the Extraterrestrial Highway, is an experience shrouded in mystery. For decades, travelers have reported encountering a shadowy figure darting across the road at lightning speed, often forcing them to brake suddenly. Dashcam footage from multiple vehicles shows a faint, humanoid outline crossing the road, only to vanish into thin air. Truckers who frequent the route describe it as an ominous presence, with many refusing to drive the highway at night. While skeptics argue it could be an animal or even a trick of light, no one has been able to fully explain the phenomenon. Cliffhanger. Strangely, many of these encounters occur near mile marker 13, a spot where a tragic accident reportedly claimed several lives decades ago. Is the shadow trying to warn others, or does it have a darker purpose? Are these shadows simply tricks of the mind, or is there something far more sinister at play? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please subscribe. Because hitting your subscribe button can give me new motivation to work harder and succeed, and trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Number 5. The Cathedral's Curse. In a centuries-old cathedral in Spain, visitors often report seeing a shadowy figure near the altar at night. The shadow is said to move independently of any light source, hovering as though it's alive. Even more chilling, those who see it claim to hear faint whispers, though no one else is around. Local legend ties the shadow to a priest who mysteriously vanished during the Spanish Inquisition. Paranormal teams have investigated the site, capturing bizarre temperature drops and inexplicable audio recordings. Surprise twist. Recently, a tourist managed to snap a photo of the shadow, and when zoomed in, the outline of a hand reaching out became disturbingly clear. Number 4. The Shadow in the Mirror. A hotel in Japan became the subject of viral speculation after multiple guests reported seeing a shadowy figure in their bathroom mirrors late at night. The shadow was described as humanoid but featureless, standing perfectly still behind the guests' reflections. Terrified guests fled their rooms, only to find no one there when they turned around. The hotel staff dismissed the claims until security footage captured a shadow moving through the hallways, despite the cameras showing no one physically present. Cliffhanger. Even stranger, all the guests who reported seeing the shadow had stayed in the same room, room 404. Number 3. The Staircase Spectre. Continued. This shadowy figure has been captured in photos and videos, baffling experts who can't explain how it appears. Even paranormal investigators couldn't debunk the phenomenon, as the shadow remained visible during their tests. Visitors report an overwhelming sense of dread when standing near the staircase, with some claiming they feel a cold, invisible hand on their shoulder. Surprise twist. The mansion's records reveal that a servant fell to their death on this staircase in the 1800s. But here's the chilling part. The shadow is sometimes seen ascending, suggesting it doesn't simply replay the tragic fall. It seems to have a purpose. What is it looking for? Number 2. The Shadow at the Edge of the Forest. Deep in the Black Forest of Germany, hikers have reported seeing a tall, thin shadow moving among the trees. What's unnerving is how it moves. It doesn't walk, but seems to glide, its shape flickering as though it's struggling to stay visible. Locals call it Der Schattenmann, the Shadow Man, and warn travelers not to enter the forest after dark. One viral video shows the shadow following a group of hikers for several minutes before suddenly vanishing. Those who've encountered it describe an intense feeling of being watched, and some even claim they heard their names whispered from the shadows. Cliffhanger. Forest rangers discovered strange footprints at the site of the sightings, footprints that abruptly end in the middle of the trail, as if the entity simply disappeared into thin air. Number 1. The Global Shadow. Finally, the most chilling and unexplainable shadow of all. In 2017, during a live broadcast of a solar eclipse seen by millions worldwide, a massive, elongated shadow swept across the Earth's surface, completely defying the eclipse's natural patterns. Observers on multiple continents reported seeing the same inexplicable shape, which seemed to move faster than the eclipse's progression. What made this event truly terrifying was its scale. The shadow was far too large to be cast by any man-made object, and its speed baffled scientists. NASA dismissed it as a rare atmospheric phenomenon, but eyewitness accounts and photos show something more sinister. Surprise twist. In 2021, during another celestial event, a similar shadow appeared again, this time in broad daylight. Could this be proof of an entity so massive it exists beyond our comprehension? Or is it a harbinger of something even darker? We've reached the end of this countdown, but the mystery of these shadows remains. Are they simply tricks of light? Or is there something far more sinister lurking in the corners of our world? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget, please subscribe. Because hitting your subscribe button can give me new motivation to work harder and succeed. Also, tell me your favorite shadow from this list, and share your suggestions for future top 10 lists. Thank you for watching. Stay curious and remember, sometimes, what you can't see is what you should fear the most. What do you think? Should we add more cliffhangers or tighten the suspense further?